Hey, what is up guys? Clack here, and today I'm doing a 3v3 coaching video for a guy named Brunner. Alright, to get started, it looks like you're running with a Rogue and a Mistweaver, and you are a Boomy, and you're facing a TSG with a Holy Priest. And if you don't know, TSG with a Holy Priest is actually one of the best comps right now. It's very strong, so if you have a Warrior, a Death Knight, or even a Holy Priest, I suggest you run it, because it's still very good even after the nerf. Since you're playing Boomkin Rogue, your main goal is to get kills on healers. That's what a lot of times you're going to be doing. And since you're facing a Holy Priest, if you don't know, Holy Priests actually struggle to heal single target. They'll do very well at healing multiple targets. They have an ability called Prayer Mending, and basically what that does is it just bounces around the whole team, and it's an instant spell. If he specs into it, most of the time, Holy Priest will spec into it. So try not to dot everyone up. I know it's going to be tempting because you want to get your DPS out there, and try to stick to one target as much as possible, again, because of the Prayer Mending. So with that in mind, your main kill target is probably going to be on the Holy Priest. Make hard swaps with him. Go tell your Rogue, communicate with your Rogue, tell him, hey, I got damage. Do you got kidney? Do you got damage for the Holy Priest? And once you both do, you coordinate that, both go. You might have some difficulties though, because if the priest is able to get away and pop fade, he's probably going to top himself off, but that's okay. You could still probably train him, but again, if he does pop fade and he's able to get away, he's probably going to go behind pillar, and it's going to make it so the Boomkin can't go back there, just because, you know, Warrior and DK is probably going to most likely be on you. If they're not, they should be. So let's go ahead and get into this game and see how it goes. I like it how you show your talents right here. Everything, it seems like you're running is actually perfect. It glides me down, mine in the quickness, Celeste, Guardian Clips, Moonkin, or Cyclone. That's perfect right here. This one looks like you're running Star-Lord, Renewal, Guardian Infinity, Mass Entanglement, Incarnation, Nature's Balance. So everything is fine here. Against a double melee though, I would recommend Displacer Beast, especially now after the nerf of Moonkin's armor. You just probably almost always go into Displacer Beast, just because we simply can't take that damage. So we need a getaway, a break from that damage, at least for a couple seconds. Even if it's just one, it's going to be huge. So again, you're probably going to want to run Displacer. It looks like you're struggling to figure out which one you want to run, and that's okay. But again, probably Displacer Beast is the way to go. Let's go ahead and fast forward just a tad bit to get the game started. So the main thing you're probably going to be doing is you could even start DPS. You could sap the DK and go Holy Priest even if you really wanted to. You both come out of stealth and do some major damage. But again, you're probably going to put your healer in a weird spot. But since you are playing with a Mistweaver, Mistweavers do a really good job at that, because they could just pretty much just roll in around anywhere. But if the healer is on top of you guys, the DPS is probably going to be able to get to him very easy. So the kill targets of the DPS should be on you or your healer, depending on your positions. So, okay, they immediately start with a grip, which is actually very good. It makes it easy for your Mistweaver to get away. He looks like he double grips as well. Your Mistweaver gets out of the way very easy. I am looking at your bar right now, and I notice you don't actually have any Cyclone macros for the arena team. So it tells me you're probably going to be clicking everybody. That's going to be very difficult for you to get CC off when you want to, and a lot of times if you have them targeted, they know who you're going to CC. So if you have a macro for it, a lot of teams don't know who you're going to CC, just because, you know, it's a macro. You're not going to be able to you don't have to target them to get the CC, so it's very nice. It looks like you are. All right, were you running Mass Entanglement? I'm pretty sure you are, and it's all fine. Again, you can make really hard swaps to the Holy Priest with a Root Beam. Looks like you beamed the healer. The healer is right here. Right now, if I were you guys, the healer is in a horrible position. He's out in the open for you to go on. You could pretty much just take a dump on him. And your UI is very weird for me to get used to, so sorry if I struggle. But it looks like you pop Incarn. Again, you should be able to do some huge damage. It seems like they're on your Rogue, actually, the double DPS on the opposing team. So you should be able to do a lot of pressure. It seems like your Rogue actually kidneyed the Death Knight, and it got him, you know, pretty low. They Warrior Fear you. Again, the Priest is out in the open. I know you want to CC him, but if I was you, I would probably be communicating, hey, look at this Priest. He's out in the open. I can CC one of the DPS if you want to go Priest. Do you have anything on go? Again, just wait for your cooldowns, because if you don't have cooldowns, you're probably not going to get a kill on that Priest, because you could just fade and have a, you know, a Ray of Hope and Guardian Ward or whatever it's called. They have a bunch of stuff, so you need cooldowns to be able to kill them. Right here, you are pumping out a lot of damage. It's very weird to see a TSG not go to Boomkin, especially against a Mistweaver Rogue U. You're doing some nice clones. Again, your UI is very hard for me to look at. I'm sure for you, it's probably normal. Again, it seems like you're able to do what you want. It seems like you're dotting up everyone, which again, it's okay, but since it's a holy priest, it's actually going to help the holy priest heal his team up a little bit easier. So next time you face him, try to keep that in mind. You just want to single target one person. You're doing some nice clones. I see you have a Gladius, so you do have a DR tracker of when to clone. That's very good. Your positioning, your positioning is fine. I mean, because like the team's constantly moving, but you always want to be, some distance, which you are. So you're doing good on that. It looks like you put mass entanglement onto the warrior and he spell reflected it, so you beam the priest, but he's not in roots. That's what it's looking like to me. Again, your UI is very clunky. It's very hard to see, but again, you're doing a good job at pumping your DPS. At least you're doing that. At least you're not like just playing with your wiener with all this free time that you have. You're trying to dump out some damage. You're trying to CC the healer, which is very good. Again, I would just make swaps to that healer. You're cycloning the healer. Heat trinketed. It looks like a DR cyclone heat trinketed. You're starting to do some pressure to the warrior. Again, you guys almost got the DK down to 30%. So you blew through some of his cooldowns. He had to pop some cooldowns. So now it looks like you're going to the warrior and you're going to blow through his cooldowns. It's probably not the best idea, because why go the warrior when you already got the DK some of his cooldowns at least? Something's got to be on DR for him. So if you guys want to go the DPS, you're going to want to stick to that DK. Again, just because he pops some cooldowns and, it's going to be less for you to go through. That's pretty much it. You can go warrior if he's in a really bad spot, but the whole team is in a very weird spot. You should be able to take a dump on him. By the way, when the warrior pops spell reflect, I saw you casting solar rafts, and what you should be doing that is you can either do full moon. It's an AoE, so it won't spell reflect. You can also do lunar strikes. Lunar strikes won't spell reflect, so it's a little tip there for you. And look at that priest. Priest pop one of his main abilities. I think it's called Guardian Spirit or something. I don't know. This is one of the priest defensives, and you can go him. It looks like your rogue actually started to go him. You DR cycling the priest. It still looks like your rogue wants to go the priest, which is a very good idea. Again, you're down up to the DPS, but there's no need to repeat myself. It looks like you're DPSing the warrior still. Now, yeah, you're DPSing the warrior still while your rogue's on the priest. I'm sure there's some kind of miscommunication. Right now, again, if you guys just go priest, you can cross CC the DPS so easy. You can peel for your healer with no problem. So I highly recommend to look out stuff for like that. Maybe you guys think you can't kill healer. I don't know. A lot of people have a misconception holy priests don't die, which is understandable because they are very hard to kill. But again, if you stun lock him enough and you have enough cooldowns, you're able to do it. And it was a very good full moon. Now he's half life. I see your rogue coming to him. You root beam. Your rogue should be going on him, which is what's exactly happening. So I'm guessing you guys are communicating that. That's very good. The DK is blinded. Nice cross CC. If you would try to peel for your healer, because your healer is getting kind of low, it looks like. If you get a cyclone on the warrior or even root, if you're scared to get a spell reflect on that cyclone for going to cyclone on the warrior, it's okay. What I normally do is if I'm scared of getting spell reflect cyclone, I just root him. As simple as that. So if he sits it, that's good for us. He sits a full root, or his healer dispels it, and you can just throw another root if he dispels it. But a lot of times he's going to Blade Storm, or he's going to Spell Reflect. He's going to do something to get out of it. You guys are doing a lot of pressure, and it seems like you're able to get a kill on the healer. It looks like you guys capped on that very well. Again, just try to keep that in mind when you face this kind of comp, especially if you're going to be running Rogue Boomkin. You are a healer killer comp, so you guys need to coordinate with your damage. It looks like you have your damage up anyways. So you could have, if he didn't die right there, you're going to get a kill very soon on him if you stick to him. All that healer had to do was LOS, and it would have been very difficult for you. But again, good job. So yeah, it doesn't seem like you're really struggling with anything. The only two things I can tell you is get Cyclone macros. You could even have Root macros, but that's a little bit excessive. That's a lot of macros. A lot of people don't have that. Like, for instance, myself, I don't have even Root macros. It's just, a little bit excessive. But, if you can get used to it, you can do that. Again, I think one of your problems is communication with your team members. Even if you don't know who you should be going, at least try to go the same target. But anyways, I think you guys did a very good job. And thank you so much for sending this footage. I'd love to be able to help out other people with their footage if they want me to try to critique what they're doing. Thank you again, Bruner, for sending me this footage. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, leave a like and sub, and I'll get out there and pwn some nubs.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?